About what? I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
You said I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
Man, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go ahead.
You dreaming, man. You talking in your dreams, man.
Fight.
What about the Terence Bud Crawford fight? I'm tired of answering questions about it. He already said millions of times that he not fighting me or looking my way, so I'm just tired of answering them questions, you know. And if a fight happened, it happened. You know, I want it to happen, but if not, yeah.
And there's like right now, you got Boots Ennis in your weight class.
Definitely.
What do you think about him?
Oh, he's very, very talented. He's unproven, but he's very talented.
Yeah.
You know, the eye test tells it all. You know, he's got the it, you know, but we haven't seen him against any elite fighter. We've never seen him tested. So until then, you know, we just going to keep saying, oh, Boots, 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 until he meet that fighter that's going to test.
Jaron Boots Ennis and Terence Bud Crawford just went head-to-head in a live interview, and the atmosphere was electric. Boots came out swinging, boldly declaring he's ready to step up to 154 right now. But Crawford didn't flinch. He shut that down instantly, saying he's not interested in tune-ups or proving grounds anymore. At this point in his career, Bud made it clear, he's only chasing legacy and mega fights that define greatness.
Consider going back down to 154 and face Jaron Ennis, the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight.
Nope. I ain't going down 154.
Then Bud poured gasoline on the fire, saying Boots hasn't faced anyone that proves he's ready for this level. That statement hit like a punch to the gut and had fans buzzing instantly. This wasn't just two fighters trading words. It felt like a line was drawn in boxing's new generation war.
For me.
You jumped up out of my sanctioned body to go fight in the IBF. So what I know? If it don't matter, catch up.
Yo, he picked Evan.
Catch up.
Evan was way under.
You just said it don't matter. Catch up. I'm talking about before that.
He not about it. We already know he not about what he's talking about.
I'm not about what? I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
You said I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
Man, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go ahead.
You dreaming, man. You talking in your dreams, man.
Fight.
Crawford made it crystal clear. He's done with tune-ups and done waiting in the wings. He's chasing challenges that matter, not warm-ups. The tension in that moment had everyone thinking the same thing. If these two ever sign the dotted line, the boxing world's in for pure fireworks. But just when things started to cool down, Pops had to step in. Boosie Ennis entered the scene like a protective father crashing the PDA meeting, ready to check the principal and make sure his son gets the respect he deserves.
Listen closely. Make that fight. You know, we want that fight. You know what I mean? I said, you know, we wanted him or either Spence. It didn't make no difference as long as we get the fight. You see where we coming from. Right now, we ain't worrying about Crawford. We're going to clean 147 now, and then we're going to move to 154. If he there and he got a belt, we coming after him. Simple as that.
Man, Boosie wasn't holding back at all. He fired off like a man on a mission, saying, look, we never ducked Crawford. The only thing I ever turn down is my thermostat when the bill's too high. That's pure old school boxing dad energy right there, raw, funny, and real. And the way he flipped the whole narrative? Perfect. He basically said, if Crawford really wanted Boots, he should have picked up the phone himself instead of going through more middlemen than a pyramid scheme. That line alone had fans cracking up and debating for hours.
Talk about it and we're going to discuss what we're going to do with, with Terence and Boots. That's what, you know what I mean? I said, yeah, well, if you want to fight, just let me know. That's just what Steven said, right? And they said, well, we'll call you later on. Never called him back. That's what happened. So they trying to say that we never turned the fight. I talked to Terence last night. We never turned the fight down. We've been wanting to fight Terence.
And the funniest part? Boosie straight up told Crawford, you fought Avanesian when you could have fought us. Translation, you skipped the steak dinner and went for a happy meal. That's savage, but let's be honest, there's some truth in it. Fans are tired of the back and forth and the politics. We just want to see real lions go at it inside the ring, not get lost in negotiation bingo. And if this fight ever does happen, you better have your popcorn ready, because there's no way it's going 12 quiet rounds. This one's ending in chaos.
But you gonna fight Avanesian, and then I said, Avanesian, you could have fought us. And then Terence said, well, Boots could have been number one. All you had to do is call us. We would have took that fight. You ain't have to fight Avanesian. Avanesian, whatever.
Avanesian rank in the WBO?
Way behind us. You know what I mean? So if you really wanted to fight us, you could afford us. That's what I said.
Alright, so after Boosie dropped the hammer and reminded everyone that Crawford could have called Boots instead of dialing up Avanesian, in comes Roy Jones Jr. with that trademark calm and confidence. And when Roy speaks on boxing, you stop and listen, because this man isn't just a Hall of Famer, he's the cheat code. The way he broke it down, you could tell he's seen every version of this story before, young lions chasing greatness while legends guard the throne.
Boots versus Terence Crawford, what does that look like?
I don't know yet, cause we haven't seen Boots in against a guy that has touched him good enough to really test his chin. So that's the only thing we don't know about him yet. We don't know if he can take the real punch yet because we haven't seen it. But as far as the skill goes, he got everything. And that fight could be a very difficult fight because he has everything.
Roy kept it real, saying Boots has all the tools to be great, but we still don't know if that chin's been truly tested. And that's straight talk. You can have all the speed, timing, and footwork in the world, but none of that matters until you eat a clean shot from a sniper like Bud Crawford. That's when we find out what you're really made of, whether you're forged from steel or ready to shatter like glass.
The guy is talented and has the skill level that Boots has. Anything can happen, but don't get it wrong, Bud has that skill level too, so it's great.
The way Roy broke it down, this fight isn't just intriguing, it's a full-on chess match where one wrong move could mean checkmate in an instant. And when Roy Jones Jr., the human highlight reel himself, says both men are operating at an elite level, you know it's serious business. Let's keep it 100, this is exactly why fans are losing their minds over a potential Crawford versus Boots showdown. It's not just about who's slicker, faster, or stronger, it's about legacy versus hunger. It's about seeing if the young lion can still roar when the king decides to test his bite.
Reality is, Jaron Ennis didn't force his team to make this fight and say, listen, Steven, I'm signed to you and Showtime. I'm not signed to the PBC and Al Heyman. You need to do what's best for my career and make this fight happen. And he didn't do that. And the rest is history. Terence Crawford moved on.
Boots has looked untouchable up to this point, but Bud Crawford is like the final boss in a video game. You don't beat him with raw talent alone. You need timing, patience, and the kind of heart that doesn't flinch under fire. If this fight ever gets made, it won't just answer the question, is Boots for real? It'll reveal whether Crawford adds another jewel to his crown or if it's finally time for the torch to be passed. Either way, the fans win, because this is the kind of fight that reminds us why boxing still gives us chills.
Crawford is the fight. And that can be at 54, it can be at 60. Now obviously we've got Lima to take care of first, but that for me is one of the great, crossover fights, because Boots is the changing of the guard guy. And Crawford's the guy that's been there and done it all and just proved, that he's still very much in his...
Alright, so after Roy Jones Jr. practically knighted Boots as the full package, with just one question mark on that chin, Timothy Bradley jumped in like, hold up, don't get carried away. And you gotta love it, because Bradley came with that unfiltered energy. He reminded everyone that Crawford may be great, but greatness isn't gifted, it's earned through fire. He called out the next real tests waiting for Bud, killers like David Benavidez Jr. and the puzzle master himself, Dimitri Bivol. That's the kind of gauntlet that separates legends from just being legendary on paper.
Benavidez, damn, if Benavidez come back down to 168, man, that's another crazy matchup for Terence Crawford. Because, again, look, with the skill set of Crawford, and everything else he brings, right? These guys have skills too, and they bigger than he is. See, and that's difficult. That's gonna be real.
And you've got to admit, Bradley's got a point. Crawford beating Canelo was like pulling Excalibur out of the stone, an impossible feat that proved his greatness. But if Bud starts chasing giants at 168 and beyond, now we're talking mythological level danger. This isn't about whether Bud can win, it's about whether he can outthink and outfight men who look like they were built in a boxing lab. And that's exactly the kind of high-stakes drama we, the fans, live for now. Let's keep it real, Bradley might sound like he's throwing cold water on Crawford's parade, but he's actually fueling the hype. Because when a former world champion says, Crawford could actually lose if he plays with fire against those monsters, that's not hate, that's respect. That's the sound of real risk, real danger, and a legacy-defining chapter waiting to be written.
So, I mean, look, if Crawford can go down and face that dude, bro, man, whoo, Crawford's legacy, everybody will be tuning in just to see Terence Crawford's greatness, because he's a mega star now. So it don't matter who Terence fight, everybody gonna be tuning in to see the greatness of Terence.
And I loved Bradley's little jab at Floyd too, telling him to chill out and just enjoy the ride. That was the most polite, sit down, champ I've ever heard. But he's right. Crawford's in that rare zone where win, lose, or draw, the entire boxing world will tune in just to see if he can solve the kind of puzzles everyone else avoids, because that's the beauty of boxing, it's never about the easy fights. It's about stepping into that ring against the man they say shouldn't fight. It's about daring to face the danger, knowing you might walk out a legend, or walk out humbled. Either way, those are the moments that make boxing magic. That's why we can't look away.
Ball fight. Yeah, on this channel, you know, if you stay tuned on this channel, y'all know that Big Ball is a miracle fight. Yeah, he's a miracle fight. It might Terence Crawford may need a miracle beating that dude right there. Styles make fights. I tell you folks all the time, styles makes fights. That's what it is. And B-Ball got the style to give Terence Crawford fits. He got the size to give him fits. He got the footwork to give him fits. He got the jab to give him fits.
Alright, so right after Bradley cooled the room with his "Let's see Bud against Benavidez and Bivol" reality check, Coach Calvin Ford came in dropping bombs like it was fight night all over again. And the man didn't hesitate. He straight up said Crawford could have stopped Canelo but chose to be humble about it. Just imagine that. The pound-for-pound king basically sparing Canelo like it's a friendly pickup game, saying, "Alright champ, I'll let you walk out with your pride intact." That's not just elite boxing IQ, that's boxing charity, and Calvin nailed it perfectly. You could see it all over Canelo, stuck in the matrix, swinging with everything he had, while Crawford read him like last night's Twitter feed. Cool, calm, collected, and completely in control.
I say Canelo was going to get old in the ring that night. No disrespect to Crawford. He did a good. Crawford could have stopped him. He could have. Me being a coach and watching how the fight was going on, he could have stopped him. And I know he's saying it in his mind, but he was being humble of Canelo. He was being humble, and it was a great fight, and it was good talk for the boxing world.
And the way Calvin crowned him, bruh, he didn't even blink. He said, "Bud is this generation's guy, the one carrying the torch after Floyd." Then he dropped the wildest what if ever, Floyd versus Crawford, even just as an exhibition. Now be honest, we'd all throw our wallets at that fight. Forget the Logan Paul exhibitions, give us Bud and Floyd in a pure chess match with gloves, and here's the real kicker, Calvin made it sound like Crawford didn't just win, he evolved into boxing's final boss. That's why we love these kinds of breakdowns. They remind us that sometimes the real flex isn't just dominating your opponent, it's knowing you could have ended it whenever you wanted, but instead, you chose to put on a masterclass. That's a different level of savage.
From Floyd's generation to this generation, to get to see the come. That's just like, we never get to see Michael Jordan play, right? But we remember when he used to play. Come on. So.
We're seeing all these crazy exhibitions. Maybe we see Floyd and Terence in an exhibition. That'd be something crazy as well.
Just to have two great guys that completed a lot of things in their life of boxing and come together and just give the fans something to talk about.
And there you have it, folks. From Boots calling out Bud, to Boosie firing back, to Roy and Bradley dropping pure perspective bombs, and Coach Calvin Ford saying Crawford basically let Canelo borrow a little mercy, this whole thing has been a wild ride. Every voice in the mix adds more fuel to the fire, and it leaves us with one burning question. Is Crawford truly untouchable, or is Boots the one built to finally crack the code? That's the heartbeat of boxing right there, legacy, pride, and the next big torch-passing moment. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who's really got the edge, Bud or Boots? And could we actually see Crawford risk it all against the giants Bradley mentioned? Let's get this debate cooking, and yo, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Hub, your ringside seat to the madness. Catch you in the next one.